CSL family, good morning. We're going to start as we always do, which is with Spirit is in this place. So let's all stand up and make a joyful noise. Here we go. Once again, good morning, CSL family. Good morning. Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living. My name is Antonio Edwards. I am the music director here. We're very, very happy that you are joining us either in person or online. If you are a first-time guest, we are so glad that you're here. Thank you for coming to CSL and spending time with us today. Be sure to stop by the guest services table and pick up a special gift, which is a pair of mala beads that you can wear or use in your prayer practice. At CSL, we have an intention statement who says who we are and how we want to be present in the world. So please join me in standing, and we'll say it together. Afterwards, please greet your neighbor with a hello, handshake, or a namaste. So, CSL Fort Lauderdale, who are we? We are a loving and diverse spiritual community dedicated to personal growth, healing, and service. Thank you.
heart will be about it. Sing my song about love. Never doubt that love. Full dimension of love. It's our shelter. Now and always. Now and always. Love, love gives you courage. Mends your heart. It's the best thing. Can't go wrong. It's eternal. And it has no end. So stand on the for unconditional love. It's our shelter. Now and always. For and after love. Love, 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 love,
Y'all can say love with us.
love. Say it with me now. Love,
There we go.
love, 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 love,
Good morning, CSL. Oh, Jerry, put the camera on me. There you go. Yeah, I didn't wear all this to not be on camera. Jeez. Good morning, CSL. It's good to see you here. So you know that we have 7 core values, right? If you're here for the very first time, then let me tell you, we have 7 core values. And they are just about who we are, what we stand for, what's most important to us. They're why we open our doors and really what is most important to us. Our core values are love, who knew? Healing, oneness, abundance, spiritual growth, service, and diversity. And the core value that we're highlighting today, to keep at the forefront of your mind this week, is diversity. Diversity. I want to tell you a story about when I lived in Kansas City. The house that I lived in was very near the Sprint campus, and a corporate campus had lots of landscaping outside. And every fall they would plant hundreds of tulip bulbs. And they planted these red tulip bulbs. And every year when I would drive by there, I would see just hundreds of these beautiful, beautiful red tulip bulbs. They were all lined up in a row. They planted them all in a row like a little soldiers, little soldier tulips, all red. Except for there was one yellow one. Just one. And I noticed as I'm driving by, okay, when they planted those tulip bulbs in the fall, someone must have made a mistake. It might have been an error, or somehow one yellow tulip bulb got in the mix of the red ones. And I just watched to see what they were going to do with this in a corporate environment, and they removed it. They took the yellow bulb out because it disgraced the uniform red tulip bulbs. And I know what it feels like to be that yellow tulip. Do you know what I'm saying? To be the one that's different in the midst of all the same. And I had a religion editor ask me about CSL Kansas City, and she said, "Can you describe your community?" And I said, "We are an island of diversity in a sea of sameness." Diversity is our core value. wonderful music team at CSL Fort Lauderdale. This is birthday week for Maylin. She turned 21 again, and again, and again, and again, and again. Okay, I'm not talking about it. Pay no attention to that woman in the corner there. So you know that we've been studying the power of myth and Joseph Campbell's work, and this Sunday we're talking about the gift of the goddess. And since I don't know anything about being a goddess, and I have a very heavy male-dominant energy, we decided it would be best, I know about being a diva, but not a goddess. We thought it'd be best if we ask our friend Elizabeth Canty to come and give us a lesson on the gift of the goddess. Let me tell you about her. She's wonderful. She's an author, a speaker, an inner transformation coach dedicated to helping people integrate spirit, mind, and body in order to live each day with a deep sense of purpose and passion and fulfillment, because that's what we all want, isn't it? She explores just how to do this, because I love a pragmatic teacher. It's like, don't tell me about it unless you tell me how to do it. And she does that in her new book called Living Enlightened, The Joy of Integrating Spirit, Mind, and Body, and also on her weekly podcast, Living Enlightened with Elizabeth Canty. You can find out more about her if you want to know on her website, elizabethcanty.com. Would you help me give a warm CSL Fort Lauderdale welcome to Reverend Elizabeth Canty.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the beautiful, welcoming energy that is CSL Fort Lauderdale. I love it here. I've already been crying, laughing, singing, dancing. It's been a beautiful morning. And today I was, as you heard, invited to speak about the gift of the goddess from Joseph Campbell's book, The Power of Myth. And I love this book. I love the ideas of the powerful myths and stories that humanity and history has created to point us all back to the truth of our being, that we were created in the image and likeness of God itself, that we are birthed from source, which is neither feminine nor masculine, and yet, of course, includes both feminine and masculine, the God and the goddess. There was a time I created courses called Exploring World Religions and Exploring World Mysticism. And as I taught them, it was amazing to me and to others to see how these God, goddess, and creation stories are so similar across all cultures and across all religions, even when they have been edited and redacted to suit those political powers that be. You know, despite the layers of interpretation and cultural adaptations, these stories always serve as a reminder of our spiritual origin, and if we allow them, our spiritual journey. There's something underlying the myth that calls to our hearts and souls to remember the truth of our being. And this chapter, The Gift of the Goddess, points us back to birth and rebirth. And what is rebirth? But to be born again. And let's just take that right back to its roots, that, as Joseph Campbell reminds us, we are first physically born of woman, and then we are reborn as spiritual man and spiritual woman, the enlightened one, that we are reminded we are in this world and truly not of it. We are gods and goddesses. And when we fully integrate spirit, mind, and body, we remember and realize, and what is that but making real for ourselves that truth of who and what we are. Joseph Campbell said, "There's an idea of death to the past and birth to the future in our lives and in our thinking. Death to the animal nature and birth to the spiritual. For me, it's pretty simple. The gift of the goddess is that birthing of unconditional love. And the gift of the God, by the way, is the strength and the courage to live it in each and every moment. You know, have you noticed that when we are in love, I mean, really in love, that we create heaven on earth? Don't you feel like you can do anything? Because instead of living from that egoic mind, you know, the small mind that is constantly projecting us into the past or into the future, the small mind which keeps us limited in our thinking, that unconscious mind from which we run our patterns of thinking, thoughts, and behaviors, most of which we have been living and doing since childhood. Instead, when we're in love, we begin to live from our conscious mind, our unlimited mind, our God mind. And that is the energy of pure love. Science has actually studied this. Science tells us that in our normal waking state, we act from 95% unconscious behaviors that we've learned and been repeating since we were children. But when we are in love, do you remember what happens? That actually gets flipped. We live from 95% conscious creativity. We're acting and behaving as if everything is new, because guess what? When we're in love, everything is made new again, right? We don't care that there's traffic. So what? There's traffic. We don't care about the neighbor's dog. It's the neighbor's dog. We're in love. We are happy, joyful. We're like little kids digging in the dirt. Whatever happens, it's okay. We have that feeling that we're in heaven. We are walking on air, not a care in the world. And most of us associate these feelings, right, with falling in love. You know, the honeymoon effect, because most of us experience these thoughts and these behaviors for the first time when we fall in love with another person. You know, the sky is bluer, the grass is greener, the air somehow is crisper. And we're walking around with a silly smile on our face, that Mona Lisa smile, like we have a secret. Because we do. We have the best secret in the world. We are in love. You remember that? But what if we are meant to be in love all the time? What if we are meant to feel like that all the time? What if we could fall in love again and live in love, not with an individual, but with life itself? With all of life, and here's the kicker, exactly how it shows up in this moment right now. What if we felt like we were in love? We would operate from our conscious mind. Stop living from those programmed past behaviors and those beliefs that are no longer serving us. They're keeping us the same. We would lessen the effects of the past patterns in our life and begin to live and love from conscious creativity and live like we are in love. You know, when we're in love, there is nothing we can't do. People say that your project's been moved up a week. Okay, no problem. I got it. I'll burn the midnight oil. No problem. Whatever comes up, I'm in love. I can do that. We feel like we can do anything, and we don't even have to wait for the perfect partner, because we are, despite what Dr. Chris says, the goddess, each of us. And we can create and birth a renewed expression of unconditional love in our life, because the divine feminine within us is begging us to nurture and birth that love that is already present. It's already there. And we are asked to bring it forth as a renewed expression of who and what we already are. And guess what happens when we do this? When we are fully present in each moment right now. The sky is bluer, the grass is greener, the air is crisper. And everyone we see is smiling back at us because we have that smile of perfect peace on our face. We are in love, just not with any particular person. I mean, you might be in love with a particular person, but as the goddess, our love is not restricted to any particular person. We're in love with spirit, with life, with all of life, and with all of humanity. And get this, with ourself. How's that for a renewed expression of love? It's like, oh, I love me, myself, my life, my love. Ernest Holmes said, "The great love which I now feel for the world is the love of God, and it is felt by all, and it is returned to me by all." We are always able to birth and nurture and birth a renewed expression of love as us in our lives. You know, I remember a moment in my life where everything changed. The first moment that I found out I was pregnant. Now, I know not all of you have been pregnant, but I invite you to listen to this story as the goddess, the divine feminine, because we're always birthing what comes next in our life, and the divine masculine is that which fulfills it. So listen as if you are birthing a renewed expression of divine love in your life. So the first moment that I found out I was pregnant, I fell in love. But it was the first time that I experienced this profound, unconditional love for someone, this little life that was inside of me. There were no conditions. That means there were no promises, right? This little life was not promising to be kind, to be good, to clean up his room and eat his veggies and, I don't know, be a good boy, get good grades, get into a good college, get a good job, and take care of his mom when she's old and gray. This little life was making no promises. He wasn't even promising to come out and make himself known. But there I was, truly, madly, deeply in love. And it changed my life. I would never be the same again. And as if that weren't enough, that realization of unconditional love for someone, very soon after he was born and I was holding this little tiny life in my arms, I had another even more profound realization. I heard the voice, and it said, "This, Elizabeth, is how you are to love everyone." And I was like, no. Mm-mm. No, you got that wrong. Because this is overwhelming, this love. And I heard this is the love that Jesus spoke about. Love your neighbor as yourself, as your son, as your mother, as your lover, your best friend, your partner, your spouse. You know, this is the love that Buddhism teaches. This is the love that all the mystic traditions teach. This is the love of God for all of humanity, for all of its creations. And I remembered in that moment a song written by Sting. I hope the Russians love their children too. Do you remember that Cold War song? How It's still appropriate. And I thought to myself, yes, the Russians love their children too, and the Ukrainians, and the Croatians, and the Australians, and the South Americans, and the Egyptians. They all love their children too, and I realized in this moment, the Catholics and the Protestants and the Jews and the Kabbalists and the Sufis, the Hindus, the Jainists, the Taoists, the Baha'u'lláhs, they all love their children too, because a mother's love, this divine love, the love of the goddess, knows no boundaries, political, cultural, religious, or otherwise. A mother's love is unconditional. The divine feminine love, which each of us already is unconditional. That goddess love is fierce and all-encompassing, and yet we limit it, don't we? We restrict it. But when we turn to the goddess within, we are unconditioned love. Evan Hodkin says, the quality of God that gives of itself, nurtures life, and holds everything together is pure love, unconditional love. And the model that we have been given for this way of loving and living is motherhood. The only thing that gives us a chance to love as God loves is the fact that the feminine is within us, all of us. That's the magic of motherhood, divine mother. It's a get out of jail free card. The divine feminine is what liberates us from our prisons of feeling separate from one another, of living in fear and judgment. That's why we call it the divine feminine, divine motherhood. A mother's love is so complete, so nourishing. It can only be God loving through them. And when our love is so nourishing and so complete and unrestricted and unlimited and unconditioned, it is God loving through us, as us. There is only one God, one source, one life, and it birthed all of humanity and all life on the planet itself. It hung the sun and the moon and the stars. It created galaxies and the universe, and the power of its creation is unconditional love. That's it. What? Oh, where am I? Unconditional love. That's it. We are that power. We are the power of unconditional love, the divine feminine. We are the presence of love itself, the warrior goddess with the strength to love no matter what. Having my son taught me the power of unconditional love, and that it is not limited to him or anyone in my life. It's available all the time. What has taught you the power of unconditional love? What will move you into a greater expression of love in your relationships, in your family, with your friends, your coworkers, with your community? We are the instruments of this incredible power of love, not a God up there, out there. The love that we see on the planet is the love that is already within us. It's already been given, and we decide in each and every moment to nurture that and to birth that in the world. The love that we give, it is the love that we share. It's the love that we create between each of us in every moment, thereby creating heaven on earth, living in that feeling of being in love. You know that feeling. The sky is bluer, the grass is greener, the air is crisper. And everywhere we look, people are smiling at us because what we see is what we are seeing from. We see love everywhere. As we contemplate our own experience of love and connection, we're reminded of that immense potential within each of us to be the vessels of love, to nurture, to heal, to uplift everyone around us. Everything that comes into our lives is begging for us to love it. Whatever it is, whatever it looks like, and no matter if we feel like doing it or not. I don't feel like making you a peanut butter jelly sandwich at 4:30 in the morning. Go back to sleep. But you do it anyway. Love in its purest forms knows no conditions, no limits. It's the very essence of our existence, that force that propels us towards unity and wholeness, oneness. We were all born of woman, and now we can choose to be reborn as the spiritual man, the spiritual woman, the God and the goddess, the unconditional love and the strength to implement it in any moment, to be present to it, to experience it in each and every moment, in any circumstance, in every relationship. We see what we are being. Love isn't an emotion, but it is a state of being, a conscious choice to live from the depths of our hearts, free from the constraints of fear and separation. That is the power of the goddess within each of us. So this week, I invite you to ask yourself, who are you being? Who am I being? What am I birthing? What am I giving to this situation? Our birthright is really fully integrating both the divine feminine, that power of unconditional love, and the divine masculine, that strength and courage to live it under any circumstance. When we do, we create heaven on earth. I promise. You don't have to believe me. You can experience it for yourself this week. Are you ready? There you go, to be reborn in love. Be in love all the time when you answer yes. It will be a fun week as the goddess, surrounded by, enveloped in unconditional love. Here's to the goddess within.
Beautiful. You know, our spiritual journey is peppered with doing and not doing. There's a time to act, a time to not act, a time to follow through with your best ideas and take action toward them, and a time to sit and listen and take no action. This is the balance between yin and yang. This is the place we take ourselves now as we close our eyes and contemplate doing nothing.
Every day, every day, every day, every day. Every day, every day, every day, every day. Every day, every day, every day, every day. God is all around.
We waste so much of our time and our resources and our energy trying to get something outside ourselves to complete ourselves. We go in search of more money because we think that's the solution to feeling free. We go in search of somebody out there who will love us, who can love us, that we can convince to love us so we can feel complete. We go in search of the right job, the right career, so that we can feel adequate and valued. We have been trained since birth to go out into the world and to make your way in it. No one directed us inward. No one said, you have everything you're ever going to need to succeed inside of you. The love you seek from others is the love you already possess. We are surrounded, enveloped, and embraced by the love of Spirit. We are immersed in its unlimited power. So instead of doing and acting and forcing, strategizing and manipulating and making, let's just stop for a minute to pause. For 1 minute to be still. It takes courage to love, especially if you've been hurt. Be brave. Give love. And let yourself be loved in return. That simple thing will heal your life and take away all of your troubles. Be brave. Give love. And let yourself be loved in return. Do that. And so it is.
Every day, every day, every day, every day. Every day, every day, every day, every day. Every day, every day, every day, every day. God is all around, and I'm thankful. And so it is. And I'm thankful. And so it is. God is all around me.
Welcome back into the room.
Once again, good morning, CSL family. We are still celebrating Black History Month, and this next song was written for a film called Harriet, about the story of Harriet Tubman. And the words to this song are very poignant and beautiful, and it applies to this month. Thank you. I've been walking with my face turned to the sun, weight on my shoulders and a bullet in my gun. I got eyes in the back of my head, just in case I have to run. I do what I can when I can, while I can for my people. While the clouds roll back and the stars fill the night, that's when I'm gonna stand up and take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home, far across the river. Do you hear freedom calling, calling me to answer? I'm gonna keep on keeping on. I can feel it in my bones. Early in the morning, before the sun begins to shine, we're gonna start moving towards that separating line, wading through muddy waters. You know I got a made up mind, and I don't mind if I lose any blood on my way to salvation. And I'll fight with the strength that I got until I die. That's when I'm gonna stand up and take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home, far across the river. Do you hear freedom calling, calling me to answer? I'm gonna keep on keeping on. And I know what's around the bend. It might be hard to face 'cause I'm alone, and I just might fail, but God knows I'll try. Sure as stars fill up the sky. Stand up and take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home, far across the river. Do you hear freedom calling, calling me to answer? I'm gonna keep on keeping on. I'm gonna stand up and take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home, far across the river. I hear freedom calling, calling me to answer. I'm gonna keep on keeping on. I'm gonna stand up and take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home,
There is no place like CSL. There is no place where more talent is gathered in support of your spiritual growth. So I want to thank you for being here. Thank you for viewing us online, and thank you for your support, because your support makes everything possible. This is the time in the service where we get to actually practice one of the spiritual principles that says, as you give, so then shall you receive. And we ask that you give generously to support the principles that we teach and the organization of Center for Spiritual Living and the organizations that we support. I want to issue a special thank you to our TPL members. Our TPL members are the lifeblood of CSL. If you're not a TPL member, please sign up to do so. They give regularly and consistently so that we can budget and plan and pay for incredibly talented people like these wonderful people on stage, our music team, and, of course, other speakers and teachers. So thank you, TPL members. Thank you for giving generously. And may all that you give here return back to your life multiplied abundantly.
There was a time in my life I thought I had to do it all by myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient, and I didn't know the love of God was at hand. But now I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you've got to let it go. Let it all go. This is what you had to say. I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God. I release and I let go. Come on. Let the Spirit run my life, and my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith, I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I'm only here for God.
Well, that turned out well. Thank you, music team. So you know that we are a spiritual teaching. We're not a preaching. People won't tell you what you should do here, but they will tell you that what you are doing and what you are thinking is creating the quality of your life experience. And we believe in the power of prayer. So if you came here today with an issue that you need help with, a decision you are struggling to make, then please see one of our licensed spiritual prayer practitioners. They came here today to support you, to maybe know something for yourself that you've forgotten, or see something in you that you don't see. They'll be joining me on stage at the end of the service and remain up front here to serve you. Prayer, of course, is also available online on our CSL website and on the CSL app if you've downloaded that. We are a multi-generational center for spiritual living, so that means we have a youth center, but you are required to BYOK, which means bring your own kid, and you have to, or your grandkid, and let them start out their life a little differently, maybe than you did, maybe knowing something about themselves, about their own self-worth that you weren't taught when you were small, so yeah. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. We need a new generation of spiritual pioneers. Speaking of teaching, you know, last week I started a new class called ACT, the Advanced Consciousness Training Class. It's a 4-week class. If you missed the first class, this is your last chance to get in. You can show up on Tuesday, or you can register on the app or online and go ahead and take the course. This will be your last chance. After this week, the class closes. Speaking of classes, we have other courses and classes coming up. In March next month, there's a Mysticism and Manifestation class, which you can also register for on your app or online. Now, you might have heard we have an event taking place soon. I believe it's this Saturday. Roll 'em, Jerry.
Bonjour, everyone. I am Todd.
Et je m'appelle Patrice. Today we're in the kitchen turning up some heat to cook up some excitement for CSL's One Night in Paris Gala. It's on February 24th.
Picture it, a dinner with French flair that will make your taste buds say, merci beaucoup. It's so good, even Julia Child would approve.
Oh, I don't care what happens. The sky can fall and omelets can go over.
And what's a French soirée without a fantastic open cocktail bar?
Vodka martini. Shaken, not stirred.
We're talking more spirits than a haunted vineyard.
And for our guests, we have a live and silent auction. It's like eBay, but with a side of escargot.
Oh, escargot is optional, of course. But seriously, you can bid on amazing items and experiences, like a trip to the City of Lights, to Gay Paris, to Paris. This trip will make your friends green with envy.
And don't forget the fabulous entertainment. Just imagine the Moulin Rouge entertainers who will transport you to the sights and sounds of that famous French cabaret.
Ooh la la. So mark your calendars for February 24th. One Night in Paris tickets are $200 and are on sale today. Go ahead and buy yours, and every other Sunday until the gala.
See you there. It's going to be magnifique.
Ah. We had to use local talent for the video. But they were paid generously as actors, of course. So I want you to know, when I came to CSL about 8 years ago, there was a bad habit on Sunday of asking for money a lot. And a bad habit, every time the air conditioner would break, they would, oh, we have to take a special collection for the air conditioner, or the parking lot needed paved, oh, we need to take a special collection for the parking lot, or, you know, this needed to happen, that needed to happen. I didn't like that, and I don't like it. And I grew up in a church when I was a small kid that constantly asked for money. So we don't do that here. We don't do it. So when we need new computers, you don't know. We buy new computers. When the parking lot needs paved, it's paved. When the air conditioner broke, you don't know. We fixed it before you came in. The reason that we do this is because we don't want to bother you with nickel and dime issues. But what we do ask of you is that you support us generously as you can and as often as you can. And the one time that we really ask for your generous support is gala time, every February. So if you want to support CSL, and if it has meaning to you in your life, buy a ticket to the gala, even if you're not going to come. Buy it for somebody else. Participate in the 50-50 raffle. Give money to the raffle, and then somebody's going to win. And the really great news is you can buy a raffle ticket to go to Bali. There's a trip to Bali in July. The raffle tickets are $100. And last year, somebody won a trip to Bali. It's like a $4,000 or $5,000 gift because you bought one ticket. All of that is available to you today after the service. And of course, the gala is this Saturday night, so this is your opportunity to buy your tickets. If you're watching me online, go online and buy a ticket now. Thank you for your support. Thank you for supporting CSL. Thank you for the generosity of the gala and all the people that have been working months to make this evening phenomenal. I will be here. I have my outfit picked out. It's very Parisian. There will be probably an Eiffel Tower in the lobby. I can guarantee you that it's going to be, I'm telling you, this place will be transformed. It is the social event of the season. Do not miss this gala. All right. We close our service every Sunday with an affirmation and a prayer. And our affirmation reads like this. Would you say it aloud with me, please? Yin, yang is in perfect balance in my life. My heart is balanced with my head. Let's know this together. The definition of God is a power for good in the universe that is unlimited, and a love that has no condition. It is the perfect balance of yin and yang, a power coupled with a pure and perfect love. It is what you come from, it is what you inherit, it is what you are, it is what you bring to the world. You are a thinking, feeling being surrounded by a power that can take anything you say and make it so, and for the whole sole purpose of giving and receiving love. You are right where you are, ready to experience and express a fuller, richer life because of the position the universe has placed you in at the center of love, the center of power. This truth is established in your heart and in your mind right now, becomes the dominant idea from which you move this week and transforms everything in its path. You are God incarnate, making its way with its genius and its love into the world. That's the truth, and so it is. Thanks for joining us today. We'll see you next Sunday here in person or online or Saturday night at the gala. Will you stand and let's sing our closing song, please?
Ha ha ha!